this is something we got to talk about. United States citizens are leaving the U.S. and going to other countries. Whether it's Ghana, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Tokyo, you're starting to see it more and more. This is not a drill. This is happening. And for whatever reason, people are pretty much giving up on the American dream for whatever reason. And what I've personally seen from the videos is everybody's happy. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to be. You want to be happy. You don't want to be somewhere where you're miserable, you're struggling, and it's just killing your vibe. But we really I think this is something we gotta start talking about. People will come to America because America was what they would say the American dream. And I think the American dream is now turned into the American nightmare. And when you look at these other countries, if you're cultured enough, you'll see that, man, the places are beautiful. They have the same thing, if not more. The prices split in half, probably less than split in half. And you get a lot more. But it's just weird. We have these politicians in place right now who are just really turning this shit into a third world country. Like when you have U.S. citizens that decide to say, you know what, fuck this place, I'm out. And just uproot their entire life and go to another country that they have no clue about, and they're taking the biggest risk. But when you look at them a year, 2 years later, they're extremely happy. You got a serious problem here on the U.S. soil. That's a real problem. Just something to think about. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Chris with the Gems.
Quitting my job and leaving the U.S. was literally the best decision I have ever made. I think the old American dream that they sold us in the 50s, 60s, 70s is dead. The new American dream is peace and rest and financial stability. And a lot of times you can't get that with the house that they tell you got to get the house with the picket fence, white picket fence, whatever. A lot of times you can't get that. Financial stability means renting an apartment, then that's what it means. If peace means taking a break from America, then that's what it is. It's not really just like, oh, the American dream is no longer the American dream. It's the fact that you can barely breathe. Like you really can't take time off work without worrying about bills. And then when you leave the house, you spend $100 minimum. And I feel like I did everything right. Excuse me, I just left the gym. I feel like I did everything right. Like I went to school, got multiple degrees, got the house, got the car, the American dream, got married. But I just wasn't happy. I just didn't want to participate in a life in America anymore. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to take a break in life.
More Americans are asking a question that would have sounded unbelievable just a few years ago. Is it time to leave the United States? Not because they don't love their country, but because they feel priced out of the life they want. Let's take a listen to the videos.
A record number of Americans are reportedly leaving the United States permanently. Not just moving states, not just taking vacations, actually leaving the country, and in some cases, even giving up their U.S. citizenship altogether. According to new reports, 2025 may have marked the first net population loss from Americans moving abroad since the Great Depression. Think about how insane that is. For basically 2 centuries, America was the place everybody wanted to move to. Now thousands are trying to figure out how to get out. And the reasons people are giving? Unaffordable housing, sky-high living costs, political division, burnout, people saying they feel like they're surviving instead of thriving. One poll found that 1 in 5 Americans would permanently leave the country if they could. Mexico has become one of the biggest destinations. Europe is seeing record numbers of Americans relocating, and the number of people officially renouncing citizenship has exploded compared to past decades. Before 2009, only a few hundred Americans gave up citizenship each year. Now, it's nearing 5,000 annually. That's not normal. And honestly, whether you're left, you're right, independent, whatever, this should probably set off alarm bells for everybody, because when people start giving up on the country itself, that's bigger than politics.
You don't need to be out of debt to leave the U.S. And hi, if you're new here, my name's Kara. I'm the digital nomad mom. And 3 years ago, my family and I left the U.S. with $70,000 in debt. And this year, we're going to be debt free. The reason why you don't need to be out of debt to leave the U.S. is because you're going to be able to most likely lower your cost of living depending on which country you decide to relocate to. Even if you decide that you're not ready to relocate just yet to any particular country, my family and I traveled traveled around to multiple different countries and slow traveled in those countries from anywhere between a month to 3 months until we figured out exactly where we wanted to be. Before we left the US, we sold most of our belongings, and we used a lot of that money to go towards our travel expenses and also to pay down our debt. Because our living expenses are lower abroad, we've also been able to put more cash flow aside to pay down our debt. In fact, we're actually tracking to pay off our debt faster now than if we would if we stayed in the United States. I hear this all the time from people who say, once I get out of debt, I'll decide to leave. But honestly, what's really keeping you in debt is staying in the US. Another thing that's really helped us is living in Europe, where cash is definitely more used than credit. We rarely use our credit cards now. And also, living outside of the US means less consumption. We're much more minimalistic than we were living in the United States. We live in Greece, and so we don't have access to order Amazon on our Greek island that we live on. And honestly, living in Europe, there's less convenience, and that does equal less spending. So if you're interested in learning how we made the move abroad within 6 months, you can grab my ebook, How to Leave the US in 6 Months or Less, linked in my profile.
I'm not saying everyone feels this way, but more people are exploring countries where housing, healthcare, and everyday living can be more affordable. For some, leaving isn't about running away, it's about chasing a better quality of life.
As someone who did everything right, quote unquote, I graduated high school, I went to college, got my degree, graduated college, moved out, got my first apartment, moved to another city, did all the things of the things. And now I'm here to tell you that I drank the Kool-Aid in my early 20s. Now that I'm going into my 30s, I'll be 30 next month, I promise my 30s are not going to be lived like my 20s. This whole grind, let me keep trying to find my purpose and keep trying to find my career and that's coming to an end. Because I had to just be real and just really think what exactly am I working towards? There's not a clear thing that I'm really working towards. Am I working towards owning a home? No, I don't give a fuck about that. Am I working towards upgrading my life? Am I working towards buying a Benz? No, I don't give a fuck about that shit. So what exactly am I working towards? The whole goal in America is literally to be the top consumer, and I'm not subscribed to that. I do not care about being the number one consumer and the number one hardest working slave in the country. That is not what I want to aspire to be. That's not what I aspire to do. I don't aspire for most material things, and I think it comes with age that I'm not impressed with what anyone has. No one impresses me with what they have. I don't care about what you have, because what, you gonna give me it? No. So why do I give a fuck? So I am absolutely making it my 30s to, one, just try to find things that I like to do. I'm falling in love with fun. I'm falling in love with the game. I'm tired. I'm done with the whole I'm just trying to work and I want to be the CEO of a big company and blah blah blah. All the shit that they fed us when we were kids, bro. I'm not even entertaining that shit no more. And there's a lot of people that are they still want to climb the corporate ladder, and that's okay with them. But I'm literally not. I'm tapping out right here, right now. It's a wrap. I'm spending my 30s getting out of this fucking country. I want to make it a point to by the time I am 40, I need to be established and living in another country. I don't see me having a future in the United States. I don't see that. I don't see a future in the United States. When I think of 10 years from now, I definitely don't see it in the United States. And if I did, it would be foggy, because I don't see a future for myself here, if that makes sense. I'm just not seeing it. So I really say this all to say is that I've literally seen everything that this godforsaken country has to offer. I see how they treat all the different races. I see how black people are treated in this country. Y'all, there is nothing, I hate to sound like this, but there is nothing left to fight for. This place, there is no saving this. This whole America is literally just a big experiment that they've been experimenting for the last 200 something years. And bro, I am exhausted. The latest verdict with the child killing the black boy, with the black boy killing the white guy, and bro, black fatigue is very real. Like, I am so checked out of this fucking country that I can't pretend to give a fuck about much things, because I truly don't. So yeah, I got a blast. Hopefully I'll journey the whole thing and I'll end up somewhere. But yeah, that is my mission. That is going to be my life mission, to make it out the United States. That is the new American dream. Let's get it.
So I've told you guys many times that I have left America to now live here in Thailand. I'm not going back to America. I don't plan on going back to America. I don't want to go back. But what I want to say about that is I'm so happy that there are so many people in my comment section saying, I'm ready to go. You inspired me. I've been thinking about this, but now seeing your video just gave me that sign that I needed to move. I want you guys to know, for one, love that. And I'm so happy. This is what I was put on this earth to do, is to inspire, to make people smile, whether that's videos like this, my music, whatever it is. Like, that is my part in civilization. But I want to say, you guys don't realize that I'm here because of the content that I saw other, especially Black American women making. I was living in LA, unhappy with my life, knowing that there's something missing. I felt itchy. I call it being itchy. Like, there needs to be a change. My lifestyle in LA, it didn't match with who I felt inside, whether that was the food, whether that was the environment, the rat race of it all, the matrix. I knew that there was something bigger than this. There's something more than this. And I saw these girls, TikToks, Instagram, whatever it was, and I was glued to my phone. Literally the only time in my life that I've ever been influenced by social media. The only time. Guys, by my third day of nonstop Thailand content from these creators, I booked my ticket and I visited for the first time 30 days later. And before I even got to my Airbnb, as soon as I entered the airport, getting into my Grab is their version of Uber. As soon as I did that, I knew I was moving. That was last August. That was August of 2025. From August of 2025 to April of 2026, I meticulously planned to get myself the hell out of America. Okay, and I did it, and now I'm here. So the fact that now I'm able to make content like this, and people, like I said, are in my comments saying, you're inspiring me, I'm thinking about doing it. Guys, you can do it too. You don't have to be stuck in what that energy is there, because what they got going on with the name we shall not speak of, what he's got going on in control of America, that does not match with who I am on the inside. They got way too much stuff going on that I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of this. There has to be something more, and I found that more. And even if I don't stay in Thailand for the rest of my life, I just know I'm not going back there. And I've been able to manifest more things like this because I escaped the matrix. I escaped the familiarity of everything. As soon as you step out the door, it's wonderment. I feel like I have control over my life. So I just want to say that you do too. So if this is also a sign for you, you don't have to come here. You can go anywhere that you want. But if this is a sign that you needed to leave.
I left the US and bought a house in Jamaica. Here's my morning routine. First things first, I go around the house and open up all of the louvers. Who needs electricity when you have sun? Next, it's time to water my my plants. So far, I've got peppers, watermelon, and garlic growing. So excited. Next, I put the water on for me and my fiance's drinks. He likes Milo, I like tea. While that's warming, I go out and water the rest of my plant babies. I have a whole bunch of canna lilies, a coconut tree, and an orange tree. I've got some other fruits and vegetables, but we'll see that in another video. Then it's time for the task I hate the most, and that is washing dishes. Wash, 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 wash. Then it's time to make the bed, or as my fiance says, lay the bed. I had to have him help me because I could not get the thing over the freaking corner of the bed. And yes, you guys are saying correctly, we sleep on a blow-up mattress. We do not have a real bed and mattress just yet. Now it's time for my fiance's breakfast. He got some Milo, he got some bread, he got some egg, and he also got some coconut. Next things next, I had to use the bathroom. I had to make a do to do in the morning. I also brush my teeth at this time, and then I go take my shower. Once I'm nice, fresh, and clean, then it's time for me to get my tea and go enjoy the rest of my morning on the porch. Island breeze, fresh air, mornings in Jamaica are truly unmatched. If you want more Jamaican expat content, be sure to follow along as I continue to build my life in Jamaica.
In a previous video, I talked about the American dream, and a lot of people had comments to say about different things, but I thought it was wrong. I guess I figured out what the new American dream is. The new American dream is to leave America. There are more people integrated Now, integrating, leaving America than ever before. Now, why? I don't know. So I got to ask you, would you stay in America, and what's keeping you here? There's people, they say the people are leaving America in droves, giving up their citizenship, even though they have to pay money to do it. They are leaving America. They went on to say because of it's cheaper to live elsewhere. Cheaper to live in Mexico, Costa Rica, wherever, Panama, Portugal. Cost of living is very expensive. Healthcare is very expensive. Education expensive, rent's expensive. Let's say for y'all in America, everything's expensive. And the people are tired, sick and tired. They want a lower cost of living. They want to be able to live, not just exist. They want something else. And we're not even going to talk about the politics. That's a whole nother issue of what the government's doing or what they're not doing, or what kind of situation it's being caused. So the people are picking up their family and they are moving. Some are, again, I mentioned Costa Rica, I mentioned Portugal, I mentioned Panama, I mentioned Mexico. I had people who moved to some of the other ones like Singapore or Thailand. Thailand is a big one too. A lot of people moving to Thailand. Thailand is nice and cheap. So I guess the question is, would you stay here? And if you were going to integrate, because again, some of us say if we were younger, we were bam, gone. So tell me what's your thought about all these people leaving America, integrating, going to different places, and to have a better life, a better living. I mean, we're not even talking about health care. I mean, education, free education, and some. When you look at some of the things these countries have, and that they are welcoming expats, they are telling you, come on over. And come live here. Bring your American dollars, bring your retirement. You can work from home. You can, now we can work from home. We can work anywhere with the internet. We can go anywhere. So I was just surprised of how many people, they said this is the first time in history since I think the 1920s that there are more people leaving. We're not talking about the people ICE is getting rid of. We're talking about Americans who are willfully picking up their suitcases, education, picking up their kids and marching. They are leaving America. The first time in history, so many people are now leaving, picking up and going. So what's your opinion of that? I like to ask questions because I have friends for real. Some of them have left America, and some of us are talking about it. What's your opinion? And I like to ask questions.
What do you think? Are Americans seriously considering moving abroad, or is it just the social media making it seem bigger than it is? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video to help push it out. Subscribe for more conversations like this and share it with someone who has talked about leaving. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.